At its height, the British Empire ruled over a quarter of the earth, from the red sands of Africa to the icy peaks of the Himalayas. The sun never set on its power. It began with trade, the East India Company, silk and spice, but soon it became conquest, India, Africa, the Caribbean. Then came revolutions. The American colonies broke free, India rose in defiance, and the empire trembled under its own weight. By the mid-20th century, one empire fell, and dozens of nations were born. The Union Jack lowered, but its legacy, good and bad, still shapes our world today.
They said the sun never set on the British Empire. But behind the Golden Crown were shadows of theft, betrayal, and blood. For centuries, Britain ruled a quarter of the Earth's land and nearly a quarter of its people. But what the world was told was civilization was often conquest dressed as virtue. Tonight, we uncover the secrets they never wanted you to know. It began not with soldiers, but with merchants. The East India Company, a private corporation granted royal power, became the world's first global monopoly. With its own army, its own currency, and the blessing of the crown, the company turned trade into empire. Behind every treaty was a trick. Behind every alliance, a bribe. India, the jewel of the empire, became its greatest victim. When the British arrived, India produced nearly a quarter of the world's economy. By the time they left, it was one of the poorest nations on earth. Millions died under British economic policies. The Bengal famine alone took up to 3 million lives. Winston Churchill called it their own fault. But the empire didn't just take land, it rewrote history, language, and identity. In 1884, European powers met in Berlin not to stop war but to divide a continent. Britain took the largest slice from Egypt to South Africa. Gold, diamonds, ivory, and human labor. The empire justified exploitation with a lie, the white man's burden. Archival quote, Rudyard Kipling. Take up the white man's burden. But behind the poem was profit. Behind civilization, a system of control that broke cultures and borders still bleeding. Today, in the 1800 seconds, Britain had a trade problem. It wanted China's tea, silk, and porcelain, but China wanted nothing from Britain. So, they found something China couldn't refuse: addiction. When China tried to stop the poison, Britain declared war twice. Millions of addicts later, Hong Kong was taken, and China's century of humiliation began. The empire didn't spread democracy, it spread dependency. To rule billions, Britain needed more than armies. It needed intelligence and illusion. The British mastered psychological warfare. From India's secret police to Middle Eastern manipulation, every uprising was studied, infiltrated, and turned. Even after independence, their influence lived on, in borders drawn with rulers and leaders chosen in shadows. The empire's greatest weapon wasn't the gun, it was division. They drew borders where none existed, turning brothers into enemies. Example visuals. 1947 Partition of India. Israel-Palestine under British mandate. Nigeria's tribal conflict lines. Divide and rule, the motto that outlived the empire itself. The British left, but they never truly left. The empire may have fallen, but its wealth never disappeared. It simply moved into banks, tax havens, and global finance. Today, Britain's hidden network of overseas territories moves trillions, quietly connecting its colonial past to the global elite. Empires don't die. They evolve. Even today, 56 nations remain in the Commonwealth, bound by a history written in London. But beneath the flags and ceremonies lies an uncomfortable truth: the empire still shapes the world. Borders, conflicts, wealth inequality, the ghost of empire still haunts us all. They built the largest empire in human history, but what they left behind is not glory. It's a world still divided, still unequal, still living in its shadow. The sun may have set on the British Empire, but its secrets still burn